Welcome back, Mr. Witness. You may kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and Related Matters, I want to remind you that you are still on the hood before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Welcome back, Mayor Bensouda. Council, you may proceed.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Commissioners, and everyone present. Now, in continuation, we want to refer you to the Finance and Audit Act, Section 39. Or first, Section 12.
Yes.
Yes, Section 12 talks about the financial autonomy, correct? Can you please read Section 12?
Section 12.
Yes.
10. Financial autonomy of councils. Subject to the provisions of this act and any other act, each council has autonomy over its financial matters, excluding salaries, allowances, and other emoluments.
Very well. What is your understanding of that section?
I think it's quite clear here.
But I'm asking your understanding.
Yes, I understand.
What is your understanding?
That we have autonomy on all our financial matters, excluding salaries, allowances, and other emoluments.
All right. Now, this, of course, is subject to regulations, correct? And the other relevant laws, correct?
Subject to
other relevant laws that are binding to council, correct? How you spend the money, and is subject to the regulation that is provided for in other acts of Parliament. Would that be correct?
Well, I don't see it mention any regulations. It just talks about that.
Are you to adhere to the Local Government Act?
Yes.
The Local Government Finance and Audit Act itself?
Yeah.
Good. Now, the financial autonomy, 13.1 talks about no appropriation of funds by a council shall be made out of the funds of the council unless it is approved in the budget. 2, no monies shall be withdrawn from the general fund account or any other accounts of council unless the council has approved the withdrawal. 3, the chief executive and director of finance of the council shall be the sole signatories to all accounts of council. Now, the financial autonomy of council in itself gives you the powers except for the issues of emoluments and salaries, right? Now, the same law talks about the fact that you should adhere to other regulations like the GPPA, regulation which we have read in the commission. Now, how does council supervise the day-to-day administration of the council in itself that is being exercised by the CEO, the finance director, and other directors?
If I get you correctly, are you asking how council supervises the CEO and finance director?
Yes.
Through its standing committees.
Standing committees. Yeah. Okay. So have you had reports, periodic reports in relation to the state of affairs of council, especially the finances of council?
Through the standing committees?
Yes, or directly. Sometimes you
regularly.
Do.
Every general council, we usually hear from the finance committee.
Now, we have talked about the National Audit Report, and I would want to draw your attention to Section 39 of the Act, the Local Government Finance and Audit Act 2004. Which reads that when an auditor has concluded an audit of the accounts of a council and has issued a certificate that the audit has been completed in accordance with this act, the Auditor General shall submit a final report to A, the National Assembly, B, the Secretary of State, C, the Secretary of State responsible for finance, and D, the council concerned, right? Now, this did not mention that the submission should be directly to the accounts committee or the finance committee, correct?
I beg your pardon, lead counsel. What year is your act? Because mine seems a bit different.
Yours?
Mine seems a bit different. What year is your act?
2004.
Mine is 2009.
The Finance and Audit Act?
Yeah.
2009?
Yeah.
Okay?
So
Where-
mine is a bit different.
Well, the one I have is 2004
Yeah.
and section 39,
So
the auditor's report.
Madam Chair, can I read what I have on mine, just to compare?
What I want to find out is, was section 39 repealed?
Is that the one that is given to the witness by the commission, the
No,
act?
This is my own copy.
Your own copy.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
The copy I have, I believe is the same with what council has read,
okay.
but you can read what you have,
Okay,
and let us see whether what you have is the same.
sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, section 39. So, I believe most of what you said was correct, except with the different places it should be submitted.
Okay.
So, it says, when an auditor has concluded an audit of the accounts of a council and has issued a certificate that the audit has been completed in accordance with this act, the Auditor General should submit a final report to the National Assembly, the minister responsible for finance, the council concerned, and the chairperson of the Ward Development Committee for the attention of the members.
Okay, so it's the same thing. I mean, for for what interests us is in relation to the submission of the report to the council, correct?
Well, you said Secretary of State and it's not here.
Okay, fine. So I am more.
Was that, if I may ask, was that an amended version? Is it repealed or
I would
amended?
presume so, because these acts were amended. But I can lend you my copy.
Chair, for the purpose of the discussion,
Yes.
I think we are all on the same page.
Yes.
The submission of the audit report to council is what my line of questioning is.
All right, that is noted.
Right, and then we have it in the 2004 and the 2009 Act. Yes. So that when it says that the submission should be to council, what does that mean?
That the Auditor General should cause the National Audit Office to submit a report to council,
Yes. And council means the general body.
the general body.
Good. Now, so that when you have this report from the National Audit Office, it comes to you first and not necessarily the accounts committee, correct?
It goes to the CEO and a copy is sent to me. It's
Yes.
addressed to the CEO.
Yes, but for the purpose of council's consumption, correct?
Council copy is, I believe, sent to me, yeah.
Is sent to?
My office.
Yes, yes. So that is what this takes us back to our earlier discussion regarding that it goes to the accounts committee and then they make recommendations. Because my understanding is that the copies are sent to the council directly, and council can decide based on the internal arrangements that they have that they subject it to a committee's review, and then the report generates and then is given to council. But nothing stops council from addressing these issues directly, correct? You agree?
No, I think that's incorrect.
Come again?
I think that's incorrect.
So what is correct?
So the copy sent to the council is for the council's attention, but it doesn't mean that the council is the mandated body to review it. The mandated body, as per Section 7 of the Finance and Audit Act, should be, sorry, not Section 7. Sorry, I just find.
The law that requires subsection 7,
Section 24, sorry.
sub 7,
Yeah,
that the accounts committee makes a report and submits it to council. Is that what you're referring to?
So if you go to Section 24,
Yes.
subsection 6A,
Right, right.
the Local Government Accounts Committee shall examine the reports of the Auditor General,
Yes,
the internal auditor, and any other reports in relation to finance of its council,
right.
and may, in relation to its functions, require the attendance of any councillor or officer to explain matters arising from the reports.
Yes.
A Local Government Accounts Committee shall submit its report to the council, the minister responsible for finance.
Yes.
And auditor.
We had discussed this earlier,
Yeah.
before we went on break.
Right.
My question is there anything stopping council, since the law also requires that the submission be made to council, is there anything stopping council from addressing this issue directly?
Yes, because we have a mandated body to deal with the issue.
To deal with the issue.
With the
Now,
expertise.
now that is the process. So if your interpretation is that council cannot just address this issue and then through general council's meeting, but then you are required to have these committees to look into these reports.
That is correct.
And then provide a report. Why was that not done in 2020?
Like I said, I have to go back to the 2020 minutes to know what happened.
But Mr. Bensouda, you will know whether this is done or not.
No, it's a long time.
It's a long time.
Thousands of issues
So you probably forget that it is
all the time.
done or not. So okay, can we have the answer by tomorrow when you come back?
I will find out today. I think the clerk is already looking for minutes.
Very well. Now, if the 2020, there are issues that are raised, and I want us to discuss these issues. And then if you have the report with you, the National Audit 2020 report with you, the first is on page, well, the pages are not numbered, but it has to do with suspected fraud, 202.0.
Did you say the report was given to me?
Now, I'm asking whether you have the report.
No, I don't
with you.
have it here. I would need it to be able to.
Do we have a copy of the 2020 report? Well, this mine is not numbered, but it should be 71 after 70, where you have deletion of rate transactions.
Thank you. Page, sorry?
Page 71 should be.
71.
So yes, just after page 70. So it's detailed findings 2.0.
Yes.
You are there.
Yes.
Now, the findings are that we noted suspected fraud of 297,941 for attributes in respect to rates for the year 2020. Yeah. Now, these were deleted transactions from the matrix data system, which resulted to non-banking of these transactions as per memo dated 28th of December 2020 with reference number KMC/FIN/342. You were aware of this situation?
It was reported to me. I tasked the finance committee to investigate.
Okay. Was that done? Did
Yes,
they investigate?
They started the investigations.
Did they finish the investigations?
They could not finish the investigations as per the report from the finance committee chair because the council was facing administrative issues with the then CEO.
That is why the investigations could not be finished.
It could not be completed.
So as it stands, at any point in time where the investigations concluded?
The fracas with the then CEO continued for 3 years. And within the 3 years, the man responsible, the IT manager, resigned. So that's his explanation.
But the resignation of the IT manager cannot in any way stop the investigations.
I believe, like I said, I have to refer back to the records. Based on the developer of the matrix system,
right,
he denied the deletion. But based on what I could remember.
Was there a report?
I would have to refer back to the...
But it would be prudent to have a report when there's an investigation.
Like I said, as the mayor, when the report came to my desk, I referred it to the right committee, which is the finance committee, to investigate and find out what happened, because my concern was if this could happen, what about the rest of our finances?
Yes.
So he commenced that investigation.
Right.
They were reporting to the council. But then the fracas with the then CEO happened, and that lasted for 3 years. The IT manager resigned. So I believe based on his report, they could not complete, but I think he's best to answer.
How did the fracas affect this investigation?
The fracas affected all aspects of council service delivery, all aspects of council life.
No, but this investigation, how did it affect it?
It affected, it derailed. We could not work. We had PIU officers there with arms.
For 3 years?
For a long period, we were pushing and pulling.
What is a long period?
3 years.
So PIU officers were there for 3 years? Is that your evidence?
I'm saying the series of events.
Yes.
We had a lot of issues. There was a ministerial commission of inquiry set up. The council started responding to that, but also took that matter to court. And then there was the push and pull, like I said, with the then CEO and administration. This issue has derailed the council since 2021 to 2020.
But other expenditures were going on, other functions were going on. Is that not the case?
Basic functions of council were going on.
Yes.
But
So
most operational matters were derailed.
Yes. And then did you not appoint anyone to assumed the position of acting CEO at this time?
Yes, but the people dealing with this matter was the then CEO.
Now, did you appointed someone to assume the role of a CEO for the period?
The deputy CEO assumed the role of the...
And what is the name?
Kajali Jane.
Kajali Jane. And business started going on as usual?
The basic functions of the council, yes.
What are the basic functions of council?
Collection of waste, payment of salary.
Right.
Delivery of ongoing projects.
Right.
Yeah.
Were contracts awarded during this period?
Yes, the basic...
Where withdrawals, well, what is basic to you may not be basic to me. What is, the withdrawals were made as usual from accounts?
As the mayor, like I said, basic standard operations. The investigation was charged. I had done my complete responsibility. I get a report. I tasked the committee responsible to investigate. They had started their investigations. And for the reasons, like I said, they expressed that they could not conclude.
Did you report this matter to the police?
Pardon?
Did you report this matter to the police?
I think, like I said, I have to refer back to the records, but I would believe so, yes.
You believe
I
so?
would believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was both reported to the police and I think it was reported at the council. But I would have to verify.
We will need those information
Yes.
by tomorrow. On page 73, there is the issue of the shortages with respect to the Mbalit project, the outstanding balances.
Yeah.
It says that there was an outstanding balance of $121,806 in respect of shortages by the Mbalit of the revenue by ward secretaries for the year 2021. You're familiar with this?
Yes.
What actions were taken?
I think the matter is resolved, but I'll have to find out.
You'll have to find out
Yes. How it was resolved.
how it was resolved.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a big issue in our general council.
It was a?
I said, I remember this was a big issue in the general council about how to reconcile this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you guys keep an asset register?
Yes,
Is it up to date?
I believe so.
When was it last updated? Do you know?
Actually, the last general council before I left for leave, the asset
Right.
register, the updated one was either being submitted or it was in the final stages.
When was it last update? Do you know?
I will have to find out.
You'll have to find out. Right. Now, page 84, there's the issue of non-maintenance of donation account.
54.
84, non-maintenance of donation account.
Yeah.
It says that the council did not recognize donations received in its revenue and expenditure statements for the year 2020 and 2021. Now, these were treated as non-council funds using control accounts to monitor movement of transactions since they were not part of their normal revenue line. Now, why was there no donation account?
Because I don't think we ever imagined there would be donations until COVID happened.
Yes.
When coronavirus happened, that's the first time we saw people bringing cash to the council to
Yes.
donate. So I think that must have been the issue. Maybe they didn't know how to handle it administratively.
So how were these monies accounted for?
Well, I remember when the first donations started coming, I did call the CEO and Director of Finance and asked them to deal with it administratively. But that's the last I had from them.
So if we ask that that you produce to us the donations that were received from 2018 to 2023, will you be able to do that?
I think the CEO should be able to do it since he's the accounting officer.
No, the CEO does not have to bring it. What we ask the CEO, we ask the CEO. The CEO is answerable to council, and you are the head of council, you're the chairman. So it is also right that we ask the mayor.
I can ask them, the people responsible, that the commission requires these documents. Yes.
No, council is responsible. Council supervises the actions of the CEO. The CEO is directly answerable to council, so that it is council's responsibility to make sure that these things happen. So the powers of the CEO, if you believe that they cannot be checked by you as mayor, then certainly the council should serve as the overall body to check the powers of the CEO. Is that not correct?
So council is not an individual. It's made up of bodies and individuals who are responsible for different things.
Yes.
So like I said, the CEO is particularly responsible for this element. So I would ask them.
Is the CEO a member of council?
I don't understand the question.
Is CEO a member of council?
The CEO is, I believe, I would have to refer to the Local Government Act.
The CEO is not a member of council.
Let me see.
The CEO would not be a member of council.
The CEO is not a member of council, but the CEO is responsible for the finances of council.
And the CEOs, are answerable to council. So
Yes.
in that line of being answerable and being subject to the direction and control of council, that's why we are asking whether council deems it fit to monitor the actions of the CEO in this regard, to be sure that the donations that were received, that the CEO can account for it. Was that done?
What I'm saying is, you asked about what donations came and if we are keeping records.
Right.
I said the person responsible
Right.
for keeping records is the Chief Executive Officer.
I agree.
And I hope he has or she has kept records.
I agree. But I'm saying that the person responsible for keeping those records is under the supervision and control of the general body. Now, I'm now asking whether the general body has that information.
That's why I said I'd have to get back.
You have to get back to us.
you, yes.
All right, we will note
But
that
I believe
down.
these audit queries have been dealt with by the Finance Committee. I will get information from them.
The 2020, we know that we don't have a report from the Finance Committee of KMC that they have submitted this to.
I think because the FPAC recently wrote to them and they responded with all the reports.
No, just, we are not talking about the FPAC. We are saying that the committee, the Accounts Committee, did not prepare a report when it received the National Audit report and submit same to, submit the report to the Council.
What I'm saying now, the Finance Committee has, and I will get that report from them.
Okay. Now, grants that were received from 2018 to 2023, have you received grants from any institution,
yes.
both national?
We've received grants.
Grants.
Yeah.
And would we, can you provide us with the grants that were received from 2018 to 2023?
Yes, we can provide that.
Please. All right. Now, on page 86, the auditor found that the administration of council were not maintaining an impress account or an impress ledger. It says that the council did not maintain an impress holders account for the issuance and the retirement of these impressed. The total impress issued were recorded in the entertainment account, where retirements will be entered as receipts of cash. And it says the implication, the failure to maintain an impress account might make it difficult to establish what impress amount is given to whom and for what purpose for monitoring the retirements of these impress. Is this true?
If they state it, it's probably true.
Okay, so anything they state is true.
Well, it's an audit account, and I hope the National Audit Office has the competence to give.
Okay, then we take it that whatever is said is true. Now, why was there no impress holders account or ledger?
Well, I'll find out from the Finance Committee. I think they have resolved this issue as well.
How was it resolved?
I'll find out.
We'll find out. Now, you had areas of rates on page 89 that says we noted areas of rates of $242,450,956.97 and $404,553.58 bruttos for the year 2020 and 2021 respectively, and with respect to residential and commercial rates. Now, what did council do to address this issue?
We've done a lot. It's our biggest problem.
Yes.
Non-compliance of rates. The challenges are various. One of them is lack of an addressing system. But the KMC has worked with the Ministry of Information to come up with Google Plus codes. We are now integrating those Google Plus codes to our rates database. We actually have a grant of $30 million from the French Innovations Development, French Development Agency, to make sure that people who live in our municipality or in our rates database have a connection between their Google Plus codes and the council matrix system. That is one challenge they've had. Another challenge they've had is a challenge of records. People sell their properties, and sometimes they don't go to the council, they go through the local alcalo or the lands ministry, and we don't have that change of name, so sometimes the rates collector goes, and then they can't, identify the owner. That's another challenge. Another challenge is that the court, the magistrates, KMC Municipal Court, of course we know the judiciary is independent. We have a challenge of enforcement there, and of course I don't want to speak on the affairs of the judiciary, but sometimes we believe more enforcement can be done to compel people to pay. It's a national issue. I think it's an issue everywhere of arrears, but we are trying to fix it with technology.
Okay. Yeah. What is the decision taken at council level, for, whether it is through the accounts committee or through recommendations sent from the accounts committee to council? Do we have evidence of deliberations or decisions made in relation to recovery in this?
As far as I can remember, this has been a big issue throughout the years, and it's discussed quite frequently because we are revenue hungry. We have services to deliver, and I believe the finance committee at the latter part, the finance and the revenue committee at the latter part developed an idea that maybe we should find debt collectors. Right. And I think they were even looking at the potential of getting debt collection agencies to help us. We also use our lawyer. Our lawyer has had judgments of $50 million, I think it's 47 something, $50 million against these areas. Some of them are stuck in court at the sheriff's office for the sale of the assets owned by those debtors.
From this amount, is it possible to have data in relation to?
Yes, I have the list. I think I was looking at it before I traveled.
Yes, yeah. To have data in relation to the outstanding monies to be recovered through these taxes, and then how much is collected and how much is left. Right. Page 92, we have the issue of GTRs. Yeah. It says that the GTRs to the tune of $186,650 were not presented for audit inspection. These GTRs were recorded in the revenue collector's cash book, but the physical GTRs were not provided for audit inspection. Now, the implications that in the absence of GTRs, the correctness of the figures in the revenue collector's cash book could not be confirmed. Therefore, the correctness of market revenue in the revenue and expenditure statements could not be determined. Now, this is a serious issue. You will agree with me. Did you address this issue?
I think it's resolved. I'll find out from the finance committee.
Okay. Now, the response from the management says that the said GTRs has been reviewed again and again queried, and we have seen the audit team on this and were shown evidence of the inspected GTRs, which are part of the list, which indicate that all the GTRs were presented for inspection by the team. Now, the auditor's further comment reads, contrary to the claim in the management response, only some of the GTRs were presented, which have duly been reviewed and removed from the query. This still leaves an outstanding balance of $186,650. Did the council do anything to address this issue?
I think the finance committee has. I will find out and I'll get back.
You will find out. All right. All right. Now, still on GTRs, it says that there was an unpresented GTR of $141,464 with GTR number 3002501 to 3002600, dated the 5th of March 2020 by Kiwe Jeng. Now, again, the same implication. The management responded that we have visited the National Audit Office and presented the said GTRs, which are also reviewed and queried to the audit team for him to reconsider the query. Now, the auditor's further comments that the licensed GTRs remain outstanding and the claim in the management response is incorrect. Also, the evidences have been presented with the management response. You understand? Have you had cause either through your committee?
Yeah, I think I will find out from you.
You will find out. The unpresented collector's cash book, 2.3.5, that the council did not present some of the license collector's cash book. Now, for instance, Bure Juf from March 2020 and July 2020, again, Bure Juf, the serial numbers for March 2020 is 2995601 to 2995700, the amount of which is $218,250. Now, July 20th, Bure Juf again, 3005501 is the serial number to 3005600. The total is $1,131,500. Now, this is a substantial sum. Now, did the council resolve this?
Say it again.
Did the council resolve this?
I'll find out.
You'll
I
find
think
out.
it's part of the same investigation or series of.
Very well. Now, the management response at the time is that all cash books were presented for inspection. The stated cash book on the query were within the cash books presented may be the team could not locate them, but the cash books are available. The auditor's further comments, the cash book was not provided with the management response. So we will wait for the presentation. The council purchased a hammer mill bottle crusher machine. On page 97, you may want to turn.
Page 90?
7.
Yeah.
It stated that we noted that the council purchased a hammer mill at a cost of $1,143,198 is 19 bottles, which include $34,931 for fees and charges by GAM direct money transfer. However, we observed that the council did not use this machine since its purchase and not included it in their fixed asset register. We further noted that the purchase did not follow GPPA procedures. Is that correct?
I have to find out about this one.
Find out.
Because what I remember, the council did not purchase. It was donated to the council by Gambega or Banjul Breweries. I cannot remember.
Okay. So you want time to find out?
Yes. What I vividly remember, I believe it was donated. I can't remember.
It was?
Donated by Banjul Breweries or Gambega. They wanted to dump, I think, thousands of bottles and in our dump site. And I said, I remember environment meeting, I said, before you dump this, make sure it goes through the right process. So the environment director recommended that they purchase a bottle crusher, which I believe was placed at the Bakote dump site.
Does the council monitor the procurement activities of the administration?
Through the contracts committee.
Through the contracts committee. And it's still a committee, I mean the council itself, does the council monitor the day-to-day management? For instance, the contracts committee is part of the committees that are part of the administration of council. Now, how do you monitor these activities? If yes, how is it done?
So the council monitors are you asking the financial affairs or procurement?
Procurement.
The council monitors procurement through the contracts committee directly.
Right.
Which constitutes the CEO, Director of Planning, Director of Finance, 2 councillors,
right,
and 2 members from the general public.
Right.
And I think we change it every 2 years.
Right.
So they are the ones directly monitoring the procurement, but the Finance Committee has a backstop.
Right.
The Finance Committee also delves into the financial dealings.
Aspect, it's all on the same.
Generally.
Right.
The Local Accounts Committee sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes.
So now where you have a particular procurement activity done that is not in line with the GPPA, because there are methods of procurement. They didn't follow any procurement process, and they went ahead and did a procurement activity. How does council address this issue?
There's been instances in the past where
several instances.
Yes, where the chairman of a certain committee,
right,
or a councillor would rise and demand that the process be stopped or reversed. And sometimes when the process is gone, meaning it's already implemented, the chairman of the establishment committee sometimes recommends disciplinary action. But as far as the instances and the occurrences, I'll have to refer back to the minutes.
Have you ever had cause to discipline any officer of council, whether the contracts committee or any officer that has engaged in procurement without engaging following the due process?
I would presume there's been warning letters, but I have to confirm.
In relation to procurement?
I would have to confirm.
You'll have to find out.
Yeah, because there's been many disciplinary hearings, many recommendations for termination, many suspensions, too many to count. So I have to find out.
You have to find out whether it's in relation to procurement. The response of the management is that the above transaction was spearheaded by the Mbalit project manager, who lobbied the funds from Julbrook Company Limited due to the volume of bottles disposed by the breweries company. They supposed to procure the machine and hand it over to council, but later decided to give the amount to the Mbalit project manager to procure on their behalf. Now, like the donations transactions, it was not treated like council's normal revenue by the management, but a deposit in the Mbalit revenue account, which was later used for the procurement of the item. However, your observation is noted. In future, all transactions on procurement will be based on GPA laws and regulations. So they have received the money.
Okay. And it's a management issue, and I think the finance committee, I'll find out what measures they took.
Okay. If this can happen, and the people involved should be, the council should discuss this matter through your relevant committees and the council itself and take appropriate action. You agree with me?
I agree, yeah.
Good. Now, on same page, 98, there was an issue of unpresented payment vouchers. Now, it says we noted an unpresented payment vouchers of $5,133,874.95 buttons. Now, these payments were in respect of construction fence of the backward dump site. Now, the itemized expenditure payments were can be found on page 99. The implication is that in the absence of the payment vouchers, we could not confirm the correctness and genuineness of the payments, which might lead to misstatement in the financial statement. Now, again, was this ever addressed?
Say it again.
Was this issue of the payment vouchers ever addressed?
Yes, so my only doubt, I remember 7 million, so I don't know.
You remember what?
What I've heard is the unpresented vouchers was 7 million, not 5.
What you've heard from?
From the Finance Committee and the Finance Public Accounts Committee.
Okay.
So maybe this is just an earlier version, but the latest one I saw was 7 point something.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, I believe, the vouchers were found with the support of the Commission of Inquiry. Although I think there's about, the last I had was up to 6 million was found. There's 1 million they're looking for still around the files that were submitted to the Commission of Inquiry.
Well, we will need evidence of that.
Yes, I will ask the Finance Committee. That's the report he gave me when I came back.
The report. Okay, we will need evidence of that. On page 125, the issue of non-deduction of staff loans, an amount of $4,397,839.83 buttons were said to not have been deducted from the staff loans for 2021. Now, you have a loan policy in council?
We have a councillor's loan policy.
You have a?
A councillor's loan policy.
Okay. Can you avail us a copy of the loan policy?
Yes.
Good. And then the issue of this outstanding amount, how was it addressed?
So this outstanding amount, I'll find out, but I think it predates our time in council. The one I remember was of the former CEO of 1 million and the former director of finance. This is before we took our mantle as council. It was reported to us by the interim management committee led by Chairperson Bakary Jammeh. That is what I remember, but to have authority on the subject matter, I will find out from the finance committee.
Now, the How about medical policy on page 127?
D?
Medical policy.
No, council does not. I don't believe we have a medical policy.
Okay.
Are you saying medical insurance or medical policy?
Lack of medical policy on page 127. You may turn to page 127, please.
127. Yes.
Yes. Where you have, for instance, on the 17th of November 2020, medical bills claimed for the Deputy Director of Finance, $8,726. 28th of October 2020, medical support for the Council of Cardiff South Ward as per claimed, $7,500. The list goes on. Between 2020 to 2021, what we have on record is an amount of $207,382 that were disbursed by way of medical support. Now, how is this determined? As to who qualifies for what?
So I don't know how necessary is determined. When councillors are in desperate need of medical treatment, I do refer the matter to the CEO, and oftentimes I support the matter. But when we were coming, there was a medical insurance at KMC.
Yes.
I was one of the people who sold them their medical insurance when I was working at Takaful Insurance in 2012. But they consistently defaulted, so we canceled the policy. In 2018, when we arrived, they owed Mbowin Clinic $4 million because they had created an arrangement where staff can go directly to Mbowin Clinic. And the Mbowin Clinic was taking us to court.
Yes.
So based on the bad practices and given the size of KMC staff is 1,300 or something, it was a consistent debate at the General Council as to whether we should take up medical insurance. But the cost always was the issue. So I would have to refer back to the minutes as to the compromise that was developed. But I believe it's on the discretion of the CEO most times.
All right, we will wait for that. So for this period, on page 151, we have an issue of missing data on the Ecotech system. You recall the Ecotech system?
The Ecotech Mbalit system?
Yes, where it says that during the audit, we noted the council started using the Ecotech system to manage the Mbalit project daily collections and transactions in 2019. However, our findings reveal that there is no data available in the system prior to August 2021. The only available data on the Ecotech system is from August 2021 to date. The previous year's data could not be found on the system. Why was that the case?
I will, strange, but I'll find out from the Finance Committee, because I did used to receive some updates about data on revenue. I know at some point we had a cancellation of contract with Ecotech,
right,
because of non-performance.
Right.
But why that data should not be available, I'll find out with the Finance Committee. But I think it's one of the things they were looking at.
Please provide us with the evidence of the cancellation of the contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, this report, if you look at the Auditor's General report, there was a disclaimer of opinion. Are you familiar with the disclaimer of opinion?
Disclaimer of opinion?
Opinion.
What page?
Page 8. Now, the auditor was interviewed and stated that wherever there is a disclaimer of opinion, it shows that the accounts of the, in this case, the Cardiff Municipal Council was so bad that they could not provide an opinion in relation to the accounts of the area council. So let me read for you. It says, we have audited the financial statements of Cardiff Municipal Council for the year ended 31st December 2020. Now, these financial statements comprise of revenue and expenditure statement and balance sheet for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information are set out on page 14 to 31. Because of the significance of the matters described in the basis of disclaimer of opinion paragraph, we have not been able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to provide a basis for an audit opinion. Now, accordingly, we do not express an opinion on the financial statement. So, like I said, when we interviewed the auditor, the evidence was that if what was presented was so bad, it would be difficult for the auditor to have an opinion as to the accounts of the council in this state. This was brought to your notice. It's a serious issue.
So this report was developed in February 2023.
Right.
And majority of the exercise of the audit
Right.
was occurring in 2021.
Right.
Under the tenure of the then CEO
Right.
and Director of Finance.
Right.
If I can remember correctly, that was the year of chaos. And the audit was going on as the chaos was also ensuing. Also, if I may, during the recruitment of the Director of Finance and the CEO, I objected to their recruitment, and I have the evidence with me.
Right.
Largely because of capacity issues. The pay scale of councils are so low that we cannot afford a chartered accountant to manage the financial affairs of a council. I am not an accountant, the councillors are not an accountant. We expect that to be the job of the administration. That is why the services of the finance director is something that must be reviewed on the pay scale of councils. Madam Chair, if I may, I once recommended that the pay scale of the administration of councils, especially the directors, should be similar to that of parastatals, because we are service delivery institutions. And we need the competence. That's why we have a CEO, another permanent secretary or director, or other names for leads like in government. The CEO needs a certain competence to effectively manage services of the council. Director of Finance needs a chartered accountant, needs an ACCA. And because of that, to date, we still have that issue where the Director of Finance doesn't have the prerequisite capacity to develop the needed financial statements and to organize our accounts as per the standard required by the National Audit Office. But in that particular year, I remember there was new management, and secondly, it was the year of chaos. So I believe that is why so many documents had issues. But when I returned from my travels, the Finance Committee Chair has informed me that most of the issues mentioned in the audit, the major issues, have been resolved. But I will need to get that information from him before I can present here with authority.
Yes. But just to ask the question, this particular issue, the Finance Committee, you are not certain whether it was addressed?
I know before I left, we had instructed them to address it.
Right.
As the council.
But you're not sure.
When I came back verbally, he told me they have addressed it. The only issue he told me was the 7 million unpresented vouchers, 5-point-something million were detected and recovered or copied from the Commission of Inquiry, but 1-point-something million is still something they're searching with your team over here. So that is what he had told me.
Did you see the evidence of the address so that council can review this?
I just came back from leave, and then I had some personal issues, so I have not yet sat to review it.
Now, the issue is, for instance, like I said, the auditor highlighting the main areas as to why they opined or have the opinion that the state of the accounts was so bad during your period, that they cannot have an opinion in the first place. Is first, the matrix property tax system lacks audit trail.
The market.
They mentioned as matrix system. And two, the payroll system. The payroll system also lacks audit trail, in respect of payroll transactions to verify and validate the accuracy of the payroll figures in the revenue and expenditure statements. Now, the report provided showed that the accumulated monthly salary report for the entire council retained the same total figure of salaries paid for all previous months. This is prevalent even when adjustments are done in a particular month. We talked about the Equatex system on page 10. We have the unpresented license invoices. We have discussed this and other issues. So again, we will wait for you to come back.
Lead Counsel, if I may, on the one where he discussed about the system of the matrix, the central government at some point asked councils to not procure any new software. They were planning to deploy the information management, the IFMIS system. Yeah, the IFMIS system. I don't know the exact breakdown, but it's financial management.
Yeah, IFMIS system, yes.
And they started actually working with the council, the Ministry of Local Government and Finance, but it was never implemented to its completion, as far as I can remember, at the council level. I think that should have basically had an integrated system. We recognize that it is not efficient to have different systems that are not talking to each other, and that creates audit problems, it creates verification problems. So I just wanted to put that across to the chairperson.
Now, the financial statement of council for the 22, you can make reference to page, on page 14. 14, okay. Where you have the statement into 2020 and 2019. Where you will see the revenue and expenditure statement for the year ended 31st December 2020.
The financial statement on page 14?
Yes.
Yes.
You see that
the financial statement on page 14.
Under the revenue column, you have licenses, taxes, rents and fees, rates, other income, interest and dividend. And that is what you have, that's kind of a municipal council, as the revenue that you have generated within this period. In 2020, were grants received and donations?
I have to check.
Okay. 2019?
I have to check. I have to check in 2020. I know we got the approval for the European Union KETP, a project of 3 million euros, but it was disbursed over 2 years or 3 years, but I don't know when the disbursement started. But you can conclude with your question, and maybe I can come in and fill in.
Oh, I'm just asking that if in the event that you have received grants and donations for the period, of course we will wait that you provide us with the answer when you come back tomorrow, that these will form parts of revenues of council?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why will it not feature in the financial statement?
That is actually a query that I remember raising at the General Council.
Right.
And for the years, I remember 2022, 2023, it was incorporated in our revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will wait for the amounts that were received based on grants and donations.
Let me just find out from Mayor Bensouda. I wanted to have a clarity on the issue of the provisions that you were talking about. Yes. Because as a commission, we are minded to look at the inconsistencies and conflicts, and going through the provisions of particularly the Local Government Finance and Audit Act of 2004. I have perused section 35 and section 36. And the reason why I am referring you to section 35 and section 36 is the fact that the Act makes specific reference to the financial manual to be complied with in dealing with financial matters. And if there is a possibility of not complying with the financial manual, then there is an issue. Because the Finance and Audit Act, which is specifically tailored for local governance, is referring to the financial manual. There is an understanding from reading this provision that there is a requirement of the councils to comply with what is contained in the financial manual. Do you agree with what is contained in the Act, in the Finance and Audit Act? Particularly when it has to deal with issues of finance. Right. Because if you look at Section 35, let me just read this. Yeah. It says, a council surrender to the Secretary of State an annual financial statement in such form as is provided for by the financial manual, and shall before the first day of June in each year publish the annual financial statement and the report of the auditor on it, and at its own offices. Then Section 36 says, in auditing the accounts of a council as required by this Act, the Auditor General shall, which is mandatory, satisfy himself or herself, A, the accounts are prepared in accordance with the financial manual and comply with the requirements of all other statutory provisions applicable to the accounts. So my understanding of this provision is that the councils are required to be guided by the financial manual. So is it your understanding that where there are inconsistencies, the resolutions of council supersedes what is provided for in these legislations?
Thank you so much. I think it's a very clear question. So I think the financial manual, like I said, is a guideline. It's a guideline that is promoting best practices, and it's a guideline that councils should comply with. But in cases where the council feels that the guideline contravenes the Local Government Act, the council has the discretion to choose which one to follow. But the document with more weight and gravitas is the Local Government Act, because that is an enactment. But the manual is a policy document and it's a guide. So in the issue of that section that you mentioned, what I was coming to at is that the council has even gone further, because removing the mayor personally being part of the procurement process and bringing in the committees, which is a body, strengthens the process and does not weaken the process. But I think it's all in the promotion of all in the promotion of best practices.
Yes, what I want to understand, because as a practitioner and having first-hand experience being the chairperson, being the mayor of the council, you know which of the provisions are giving you a challenge, right? So my question is, if the law is not amended, is it prudent to go by resolutions and not to follow the provisions of the law where they are not amended?
So, sorry, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, so the council is following the Local Government Act. The Finance Committee, the Finance Director, the CEO, recommend on the financial manual or what is the best way to go about these things. So like I initially said, in 2018, things were so bad that the council said, look, we want to know what is going on in the finances. We have not set up any committees. In our 2018 resolution, the mayor was tasked to review payments above 100,000 and below 500,000. It's actually a resolution, it's there. But I think 1 month, not even 1 month, it was reversed.
Yes,
Right.
sorry, let me just intervene a bit here. You see, the challenge with the councils, and which you can appreciate, is the fact that the financial systems that are in place are not helping the councils to be able to report properly, and for financial statements to be provided to reflect the actual transactions, both in revenue collection and in expenditure. I believe you agree with me that that is a challenge, right?
The financial systems are challenged.
Yes, that is a very big challenge. And that is why my understanding of Section 36 of the Finance and Audit Act is saying that in auditing the accounts of council as required by this act, the Auditor General shall satisfy himself or herself that the accounts are prepared in accordance with the financial manual. That is to say, it's not giving you an option to walk outside of what is contained on the financial manual. And I do appreciate also that you admitted that Section 305 of the financial manual, you understand, does provide the guide in order that, you understand, the CEO is not left alone to do things on his own. And a question came earlier on as the evidence was going back and forth, you understand, in which you took a proactive step when you called the bank, for instance, to say there is a transaction going on. If you proceed, there will be a problem. And as anticipated, there is a problem, right? Yeah. So my question is it advisable, or is it correct for the council to comply with the provisions of the financial manual?
So, may I answer your question in
Yes,
two
yes,
parts?
yes.
Yeah. So, in the issue of the calling of the bank, it was a governance issue.
Yes, I was just referring
To the, yes.
you understand,
So
to that example. I'm just giving you back that example. But now my question is, go to the answer to my
so
question.
in the issue of, this is operations, that is squarely under the mandate of the CEO. The council complies with the financial manual, I hope, as best as they can, especially at the administrative level. But in this particular issue, where it concerns my person, I think it would be illegal even for me to partake both in the operations and in the oversight of the council at the same time.
You know, I just want to be very, very, very clear.
Right.
I appreciate that because you cannot be a player and yet still
referee.
Perform your supervisory role. I am totally in line with what you have said. My challenge is for the executive arm not to, particularly the finance department, not to have full compliance with the financial manual. That is my problem.
Yeah, so
are you of the view that the finance team are expected, and it is your expectation for them to follow the financial manual, the Finance and Audit Act, and any other relevant legislation which is not amended?
Yes, so it is my view that the CEO, finance director, and administration should follow the finance manual. Is my view. I do respect processes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. I just wanted this clarity because these are two different things.
That's true.
Your position as
I just
being a player and a whatever, and this one.
Thank you for your clarification.
Two different things altogether.
Thank you for your clarification.
Yes. Please, you may proceed.
Chair, just to go back on that point for a minute, the laws of the Gambia, Section 7, talks about the laws of the Gambia, which consists of the following. A, that's the Constitution. Acts of the National Assembly made under this Constitution and subsidiary legislation made under such acts. B, any orders, rules, regulations, or other subsidiary legislation made by a person or authority under a power conferred by this Constitution or any other law. So regulations are part of law. So it is okay when a witness does not think so. When a witness classifies it as a policy, it's okay, it's all right. it would not change the fact that it is regulations are laws, right? So,
Wanted clarity, you know.
yes, that's what the Constitution says on Section 7, that regulations are part of laws of the Gambia.
Thank you.
And the manual, which is a regulation, is clear and gives no authority in relation to any form of discretion that anyone has in either adhering to the manual or not, or cherry picking. So when the witness, the mayor, said that there is a discretion, there is no discretion, and I think we have made a point very clear. We respect his view, but there is no discretion. And we invite evidence of the discretion that is in the manual or any other law. And also, we have requested from the witness to provide a resolution that talk about the threshold, and that council had decided to depart from the threshold as set out by the financial manual. We want to say that. All right. Now, the internal audit reports. You have an internal audit department.
Yes.
Now, this internal audit department, do they provide internal audit reports?
The internal audit department in 2023, yes.
2023. 2018?
2018, I wouldn't call that reports, no.
Why?
The internal auditor did not have the capacity
To
generate reports.
a report.
Yeah.
So the reports that were generated would not be classified as reports.
No.
But was he appointed as an internal auditor?
By the interim management committee, yes.
Okay. So he was duly appointed then?
Yes.
Good. Now, why would you not classify it as a report?
Because it was not a report. I don't know. We've been trying to look for samples of what he used to submit. But in 2018, during the interim management committee, they had moved him there. But I don't think he has the qualifications. In the outgoing chairman's report,
Right.
he mentioned that the auditor complained
Right.
that he did not have the capacity to be placed at internal audit,
Right.
but they still placed him there.
Right.
In 2019,
Right.
the council had complained to him that if you cannot do this job, please allow us and move to another area so we can get a qualified internal auditor.
Yes.
He confirmed in that general council that he does not have the prerequisite capacity.
Okay.
We further wrote to the Ministry of Local Government, and then we further wrote to the Local Government Service Commission,
Right.
and his services were terminated.
Right.
But he was not replaced until 2023.
Yeah. So whose decision was it that the reports that were generated were not to be termed as internal audit reports?
The council.
The council. Do we have that evidence to show?
I think
that
the
council-
deliberations on when we terminated him, it should be in the minutes.
Okay, we will want to see that. Council has the power to decide that reports that are provided by internal auditors that are duly appointed can be disregarded because they do not follow. They are not considered as reports.
Yeah, the internal auditor will ask him, you say, this report does not look correct. I mean, I'm not an auditor, but I mean, I have run companies. I know what an audit report should look like.
Right.
So if he generates a report and it doesn't look like a report, we ask him, but this doesn't look like an audit report. And he will tell us, well, I don't have the capacity.
What does an audit report look like? How?
Just like this, it looks well presented. I'm not an auditor, but I've dealt with audit reports.
If you say just like this, it would not explain anything. If one is not an expert in auditing, then it would not be proper to just say that the audit report does not look like an audit report.
But if I challenge you and say, as a council, we do not see benefit in your audit report, and you respond that I don't have the competence or qualification or capacity, then you have confirmed what we suspect.
You had a problem with the information that is provided or the structure?
The structure, the information, there was nothing. Now we have an internal auditor.
No, let's just
who
stick with
provides
the
complete information.
Yes, but at the time, there was the problem in relation to the findings or just the manner in which it was
I have to
structured?
debate, but I think everything was just not correct.
Even the findings, did you take time
The
as a body
findings,
to...
the accuracy, and he would be challenged by line directors that all his information was incorrect.
Did the finance or accounting committee look into these reports and come up with recommendations to say that they are not substantiated?
Actually, thank you for helping me. The finance committee has 2 qualified auditors.
Right.
Lamin S. Jata, I forgot the other one. The accounts committee chairperson at the time was Masire Kinte,
Right.
who's a ACCA holder.
Right.
There was, I think, about 3 learned qualified auditors.
Right.
On our finance committee.
Yes.
And our accounts committee.
Yes.
And they also confirmed that he didn't know what he was doing.
Did they submit a report to that effect? That is the
I
question.
have to check back, but like I said, based on what we told him and his confirmation, and based on the report of the interim management, where he confirmed that I'm not qualified, you've put me in the wrong position, I think it was self-explanatory.
So we are not sure whether the report is in writing or not.
I will have to go back.
You have to go back
but
and check.
The one thing I can tell you, in our general counsel, he asked us to replace him. He said, I
So
cannot do
we
this.
will want to have the report, whether it is, if it is a report given to council in council meetings, or we want to see the minutes of the meetings
I'll ask
indicating
Lab to
those reports, or if it is a written report, we want to see. We have also reports here, internal audit reports were prepared. I want to show you. Have you seen those reports before?
So I don't think these are reports, these are memos.
They are memos.
Yeah, they are not reports.
Let me have it. I'll show you. It says memo from senior audit officer to the chief executive officer, the Lord Mayor, and the acting director of finance were copied. It says the subject, the end of year cash book closing inspection as at 31st December 2018, that the internal audit carried out audit inspection exercise on market collectors cash book involving ticket records and bank deposit slips, which led to the discovery tickets of serious control failures. As a result of these tickets are not being recorded properly in the collector's cash book, we hereby forward this report for urgent remedial action to be taken by the finance department. After our inspection, we call the collectors concerned to make clarifications, explanations on the cash book situations. Now, it is a report. It is submitted by way of a memo to inform the recipients that it is a report that is brought to your attention.
So it's not a report. It's a memo informing the CEO and the finance director to adjust. It is guidance. The internal auditor should generate proper audited reports to be submitted to the council quarterly.
Yes.
That he couldn't do. These are just memos to the CEO, bringing it to the attention of the mayor, that these are my observations and these are the things you should do as the CEO. And that is moved to the accounts committee.
Okay, if you see it as a memo or as a report, the auditor says it as a report, that there were detailed findings in the report or memo. These are semantics. If you want to use it as a memo, no problem. But the issue here is it has highlighted some areas of concern, yes, so that we stick to the subject, which is very important. That is the findings of the internal auditor. So whether it is a memo or not, the relevant issue here is these findings that were submitted to you and submitted to the relevant bodies or committees. Have you had access to see these findings?
It is copied to my office.
Right.
But like I said, the reason I said it's not a report, once an internal auditor or external auditor is done, they must develop a management letter,
right,
allow for the management to
right,
respond.
Right.
So sometimes it's just a matter of submission of files or missing
right,
information.
right,
And then from there, he should generate a report,
right,
and say internal audit report from this time to that time to the General Council or to the Local Government Accounts Committee for treatment.
Is council interested in the findings, or are they interested in the form?
We are interested in credible, verified findings.
So these are not credible?
They are not.
Says who?
Says the process and the law.
No, but that's you saying it?
No.
Did the council, is that the position of council?
No, it's look at the Local Government Finance Audit Act.
No, is that the
on
position of council?
Internal auditor.
The question is, what you are saying now, I just want to ask whether that was the position of council. Is that council's position that these are not reports?
We asked him categorically clear, how come you're not developing quarterly reports? These are memos, these are operational issues. We are policy makers. We are not finance managers, or we don't have ACCA. You have to generate reports verified by our Local Government Accounts Committee or Finance Committee, who have the expertise to generate recommendations.
Mr. Bensouda, you have findings before you as, that are sent to your office. Did you forward this to council?
I forward all reports from the internal auditor to the Local Government Accounts Committee or the Finance Committee.
To council. Do you have?
No, I report it to the Finance Committee or the Local Government Accounts Committee.
Okay. Now, your position is the council looked at this report and said, well, we are not going to discuss the issues in this report because they are not reports.
Because they are not presented legally in a credible fashion we can verify.
All right. So your problem is with the...
Yes. Let me find out from Mayor Bensouda. I may be wrong, but I want to find out whether during the course of deliberation, did you find out whether the internal auditor was reporting as of pre-auditing or post-auditing when he put together this report?
So these are day-to-day operational memos.
Yes.
He's sending to the CEO, letting him know, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. But it is not an audit. He was doing a compliance function. The work he was doing is a work of compliance. Compliance deals with day-to-day adjustments. But an internal auditor is post-action. You review what the CEO has done, and you ensure it is as per the best practice or the financial manual, etc. You generate your audit report for the period. Then you submit it to the Local Government Accounts Committee. Actually, the auditor does not report to me. In the act, he has to report directly to the Local Government Accounts Committee. Those have the learned individuals.
No, are you sure? Sorry, are you sure he has to report to the committee or to council direct?
He's answerable to the council, but
yes.
he delivers his report to the Local Government Accounts Committee. So the thing is, when we are elected, a lot of us are not experts. We are local grassroots politicians. The qualification for mayor is high school and councillors. So that's why we have committees with the expertise that can now decipher this information and present it to the council in an understandable manner. And even in the local language if they can, because one or two councillors cannot speak English. So in this way, the council can understand and say, okay, these are the steps we have to take, this is what the CEO has to do. But when we presented that challenge to the internal auditor, he said, look, I don't have that competence. So that's when we wrote to the Local Government Service Commission to have him replaced, and they terminated his services. But the problem was, they did not replace him till 2023, even after we sent memos asking them why we still don't have an internal auditor.
Councillor, thank you so much. Councillor,
you have, with you, submitted internal audit reports as mayor. And these reports are supposed to be submitted to council. And the findings therein, even if the internal audit report, the internal auditor is not qualified, highly qualified, as the case may be, we don't know his qualification, but he occupied the office of an internal auditor, and so was deemed to be competent at the time. So that when you have these reports, the council should look into the findings, to the merit of the findings, to see whether it has merit or not, rather than just to say that you don't consider it as a report because you have a problem with his qualification. Would that be appropriate under the circumstance?
So I can refer you to section 26
yes.
of the Finance and Audit Act.
Right.
is about the internal auditor.
Okay.
Number 2, the internal audit department, who shall be answerable to the council, shall prepare and submit to the council quarterly audit reports and forward a copy to each local government accounts committee, the auditor general, and the minister. So, number 1, he should not be sending me any reports. Any report he gives me is just for my attention.
No, that's not correct.
That's what the act says.
That would not be correct.
The auditor was generating operational memos, not for the perusal. If I presented that to the council, myself and half the councillors will not understand what we are looking at.
No, that's your understanding.
No, that's the fact.
No,
that's why it has to go.
That is not.
That's why the law prescribes that it must go to the local government accounts committee that has auditors and experts who will now break down the information and send recommendations to the
send it to that committee.
I always send whatever.
Exactly. So the form, the structure, if it is ever missed, you have an issue to address. Council have an important issue to address rather than focusing on form or structure. The idea is there may be findings that may be helpful to council. Even one finding that may be really helpful and save council millions. So instead of just to focus on the form, what you want to do is just to make sure council discuss the findings. If there is no merit on the findings, then you disregard them, if you want to disregard them.
A general council cannot exhaust internal audit reports. A general council deals with 100 issues. We cannot deal with an audit report, which can take 1 week. That's why we send it to the local government accounts committee. They will deal with it and generate their recommendations.
Did they have a report?
And the report he's generating is not verified, because in internal auditing, I'm not an expert, but just with my basic understanding of governance, is that they must present their findings to the management and give management time.
The question is there a report from the committee?
These are not reports, because the internal auditor is not producing reports.
We have an audit inspection report for first quarter 2021. We have the audit, end of year audit report, January to December 2022, final report.
By who?
Just look at it. Just look at it. Our interest here is to know whether council, through any form or structure, whether it is passing through the committees or whether it is addressed by council directly, that these issues raised are addressed. That's just the issue.
This is not by the internal auditor. This is by I think the manager.
Was it discussed at council's level?
All of these reports are sent to the local government accounts committee. Councils cannot discuss reports.
Were there reports generated from the accounts committees?
That's why I'm saying these are sent to the accounts committee.
Mr. Bensouda, answer my simple question. Did the committee generate a report?
The accounts committee has the competence to say whether these reports are valid or not, and they have never sent any recommendation to the council.
That is not my question. My question is there a report emanating from these submissions that is sent to the council?
That's why I'm saying the accounts committee. I think maybe the accounts committee chairperson is best to answer.
No,
but the accounts committee is solely charged with this responsibility.
Forget the responsibility.
I cannot forget responsibility.
You know why you have to forget the responsibility, Mr. Bensouda? The question I have asked you is very simple. Either these reports that I have shown you, that you call memos, if you want, it's okay, but there are findings in these reports. And there are recommendations to that effect, even in relation to illegal dump clearance, and so many.
Right.
I am focused on the merits, the findings, not the form. If you have a problem with the form, it's okay. But we want to know whether it is council that discussed these issues, or the issues were sent to the committees to handle these matters, and whether, if that's the case, whether a report was generated. It's a very simple question.
That's why I said the committees have never sent any recommendation to council, because they could not verify the authenticity of the report, because the department does not have the capacity. No. That's why I wrote a letter. I can give you a memo that I wrote to the Minister of Local Government and the Local Government Service Commission. I said, we are without.
Yes, if you have that memo, please let us admit it.
We are without an auditor for how many? For 2 years, 3 years. That requires competence. Sorry.
It's important for us to have.
Yes, we will trace. We will try to trace that memo.
All right, thank you.
Now, so as far as you're concerned, when even the internal audit report, we call it, addressed the issue of the auctions that happened in council, the various items that were subject to this sale, you did not have chance because the competence of the auditor was questioned, and therefore there is no report from these committees in relation to this issue.
Yes, because I'm dealing with governance. I deal with allegations on a daily basis, be it theft, be it police, be it whatnot. I must subject it to verifiable, credible investigation.
No, you don't have that evidence. That's the issue.
That's why
you're just giving us theories. The idea is you have to back it up with the fact that I have done X, Y, Z, so that when you discredit an auditor's report, you base it on the fact that the findings were discussed, they were thoroughly investigated, and they were not found to be meritorious. It's as simple as that.
That is not the work of the mayor. That is the work of the committee.
No, it's work of council through its committees, and council must do this job.
No, it
and
says,
so that,
like I said, the competence to verify those reports are with the committee. The competence to generate those reports are with the department. I, as mayor, noticed the capacity gap. That's why I challenged the auditor. Was the
committee supposed to generate a report on internal audit reports that are submitted to the committee?
The committee has noticed us through the establishment committee that we are without a competent internal audit department.
Where is that notice? Is it in writing?
I have the letter of the establishment committee sending to the ministry asking for the internal audit.
That's not the question.
I have a letter where I sent to the committee reminding them that we are without a competent internal audit department.
If you have it, bring it. That is not the specific issue we are discussing. So please, we limit ourselves to the reports I have shown you, which you have classified as memos, which is okay, but which has findings. So that the findings there, we have evidence that the committees that you are referring to have discussed these findings and then concluded that these findings cannot be substantiated. Is that what happened?
I've sent all my reports to the local government accounts committee.
Again, you're not answering my question, Mr. Bensouda. You see what I have?
The question.
No, you're not. You're just avoiding the questions. So my question is not ambiguous. If you don't understand the question, just ask me to rephrase it. For instance, we have a report here. On page 20 of the report that was sent to your office on the 28th of April 2023, for instance, Office of the Lord Mayor, Deputy Chief Executive Officer as well copied, where it says the Internal Audit Department has embarked on various audit exercises on departments and units of the Council for the year ended 2022. And then you have, it says the final report. And you have on page 20, for instance, where it talks about the air conditioners. The air conditioners were all withdrawn by the council for official use, for instance. And you have the plastic louvers frames. 28 pairs were assessed, but nothing was found on the ground at the time of action. This is a fundamental issue.
That's why I said all reports were sent to the local government accounts committee and the finance committee. And this is why we spearheaded the fixed asset register to verify. Yes.
What you are saying is such that you don't have interest because one person's qualification you have a problem with, and therefore all these findings are not relevant. That's what you are saying.
I assure you, the council has dealt with several investigations about missing items.
But not from your answer.
No, that's what I'm telling you. No. The investigation is different from the audited reports.
I'm just trying
reports need to be verified and they need to be credible.
There were issues of stolen items, missing and stolen items on page 22 to be recovered by the administration. You guys don't want to have an interest in this because the internal auditor has a qualification problem, seriously?
I think you are wrong on that. How? All stolen and missing items, those matters were discussed at the council.
The ones raised by
I have to verify.
You see, you have to verify.
Yeah, because I'm not here with, I'm not armed with information.
No, but you have to verify. That's why I said that the most prudent thing to do would be to assess the report first on its merits.
So on the report of the auditor, that goes to the local government accounts committee. On the report of the police, that comes to my office. On every missing item of council that was reported to my office, an investigation is either conducted or the matter is brought before the council floor. You have the police department that you do not know whether the person that conducted the investigation is involves a qualified auditor or not. You have other reports that you do not know whether those people are qualified auditors or not. Now you have an auditor who is employed. the police department reports to me. The auditor is an expertise of, is a field that requires technical expertise.
Exactly.
Which I don't have.
The same with any. What I'm saying is just simple. Just relax and you'll see what I'm driving at. What I'm saying right now is when you have specific findings that you should prioritize as council. For instance, on page 24, it talks about the summary collections and submissions, the total collections and submissions for all collectors on trade license, cost recovery, and ballot payments for the audit period 1st January to 31st August 2022. The total collection is $67,207,465.50. The total submissions were $66,958,395.50. That there was a shortage of $249,070.
This is under the Mbalit?
It says the
So on that specific issue, we have investigated. The amount is not 200,000; it's 1 million. That's why I said on issues of theft, I take it personally because I am the mayor. It is not 200,000. That's why I said the competence is not at the audit unit. It is 1 million. We have placed on administrative leave all 6 officers engaged in that fraud. We have written to the Local Government Service Commission for the termination of all 6 officers over 1 year, and they have been receiving salary, and the Local Government Service Commission has still not acted. That's why I'm telling you the competence is not there.
No, that's not correct.
Let me land. When they came,
I have to stop you. I have to stop you there because my question is very simple. What you are saying is not correct.
It is correct.
No, it's not. What we are trying to say here is that if this finding, even if the figures, even if you believe the figures, there are discrepancies, we have to have a report from either the committee that is approved by the council that the findings by the auditor, the figures, there are discrepancies, but there are merits to the issue. The issue we are discussing here is that when you have an internal audit report, the best course of action is to allow it to flow through the normal course of action.
We allow it to flow, but it's not a credible, competent report.
But
That's why I'm saying what the internal auditor reported of 200,000 and what we investigated are like day and night.
Where is the report of the investigation?
That one is there. We have sent the recommendation to the Local Government Service.
We want to see the report. We want to see the report
of those officers. And Madam Chair, if I may note, it's been 1 year. We are paying those officers, and the Local Government Service Commission has not acted. And the council is out of $1 million, which was stolen and admitted by those officers.
Yes, but different issue. Different issue. We as we speak concerned about specific findings that are outlined by the report that are disregarded by council because on assertions that there were there was no qualification. That is the gist of the conversation here, not to divert on other issues.
Please provide us with the report and the memo you have sent to the ministry and evidence of payment of salaries to these officers.
To those officers.
Yes, please. Please proceed.
Yes, the same with the report, the quarterly report for the 1st of January to 31st of March 2021, audit inspection report for first quarter 2021. Again, several findings that were in this report that were also disregarded. Because if you look at, for instance, page 6, it talks about trade license certificates, market units, that it goes on page 7, the detailed audit findings, that daily markets, total number of tickets books collected for all the markets for the period 1st January to 15th of February 2021, the total packets of tickets book collected were 330. Total amount of tickets valued or collected, 3,300,000. Total packets of tickets book sold, 292. And the total amount of tickets sold, all the markets, 2,920,000. And the remaining packets of ticket, but the balance is 38. And the value of which is 380,000. So when a report like this is generated, the committee you'll agree with me, should take it seriously. And so that there is accountability in relation to the tickets that were sold, the monies therein, and the outstanding tickets or balances, if any. Is that not the case?
Well, like I've said several times, one, I'm not the committee chair, I'm not the committee. Two, the internal audit, as far as I am concerned, did not have the capacity or the competence. And it is equivalent to asking a nurse to conduct open heart surgery on oneself. I wouldn't recommend it. That's why I asked the establishment committee to ensure that they write to the ministry. And I don't see why they did not get us an internal auditor in time. But now we have an internal auditor who we have tasked to go back all the way to 2018 to date to generate reports, and he has.
Mr. Bensouda, it is not akin to a nurse who is asked to do operations.
I think so.
It is not, no. We have to be fair. So, you know, when you were elected as mayor, some may think you are not competent. Some may think you are competent. When someone is elected or appointed, it is deemed that they are competent to do the job. You have done the right thing by raising concerns. But raising concerns to the relevant authority does not in any way suggest that you can disregard the reports, or council can disregard the reports that are generated by that individual. The presumption is they are occupying a position because they are competent, unless you have a result otherwise.
Yeah, so with politics is different. Politics is not about competence. It's about who can win elections.
Yes, based on the people's eyes, based on the eyes of the electorate, they deem you competent to handle an office.
Sometimes they vote for you because you're good looking.
The same applies, so it's not different. We have the issue of Can Mustafa Kanyi. What is Can Mustafa Kanyi's position in council?
Kanjura Kanyi was appointed by His Excellency President Barrow at the Interim Management Committee of Council. He worked with Bakari Jammeh, who then recommended that he stay on with the council because of his ability to make a difference on the ground. The council deliberated on the issue and endorsed it, along with Maria da Costa. Maria da Costa was also employed by the head of state to be at the Interim Management Committee, and was also recommended by that committee to stay on and help council with the transition.
Now, what is Kan Mustafa Kanyi's position in 2023, do you recall?
I can't recall now.
I can't recall. Now, we have a procurement. Does he work for the procurement department? Do you know?
No, I don't think so.
You don't. Should he be engaging in procurement activities, do you know?
He should not.
He should not. Okay. Now, we know that Mr. Kanjura Kanyi had engaged in procurement activities. Now, at one point, payments were made to Mr. Kanjura Kanyi to procure some spare parts. Were you aware of this?
At the council, yes, we were aware. At the
Okay.
council.
Now, what actions were taken?
I cannot remember. I know the matter was brought to the council. It was a big issue. It was heavily debated. The outcome, I cannot remember.
Mr. Bensouda, it appears as if for the most part, some of these matters just have a natural death somewhere up the ladder.
It's been 7 years. I've dealt with a lot.
We can give you time to come back.
Well, I can find out what happened.
We can give you time to come back, because Mr. Kanyi cannot engage in any form, should Mr. Kanyi engage in procurement, which you have confirmed. And Mr. Kanyi, during the issue of, during this period, there were bulldozers, D9 and D8, that were broken down. And as a result, Mr. Kanyi had to bring in invoices, one from Unkolan Construction Company, and the amount is $1,066,280 for the maintenance of the said engines. Now, the owner of Unkolan, Mr. Abubakar Kinte, I believe, testified and said clearly that he does not in any way submit those invoices and receive money therein. Now, Mr. Kanyi himself has admitted, we see, and the evidence have disclosed, that these payments were done to Mr. Kanyi to go and procure these spare parts. The council ought to have done something about this. You agree with me?
I have to find out. All of this, I think, a lot of the revelations happened during the commission.
Right.
But I don't think it was flagged by the regulators of the council.
Well,
The procurement should be done by the CEO through the contracts committee and with his procurement manager.
Yes.
And definitely not with Kanjura.
Not with Kanjura, exactly. But why would the revolution be flagged, or why would it take so many years to know a withdrawal as significant as this amount by the commission when the withdrawals from the accounts of council are well regulated? So that payments made to an individual should follow procurement process, procurement should report to council, and there is a reporting mechanism.
I believe the matter was discussed in council. I believe it was a heated debate. I can't remember the...
No, but you said that the revolution
no,
is
the revelation
from the
about
commission.
Him grabbing invoices and stuff like
Yes.
that. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
But the trying to repair the bulldozer, that was discussed in council.
Now, we will wait for you to give us information regarding what the council did, and do you know whether Kanjura Kanyi was ever cautioned or disciplinary actions meted against Kanjura Kanyi in this issue? Do you know?
Like I said, whether Kanjura did wrong or not was not discussed at the council. What was discussed was the actual procurement to repair the bulldozer. We got 2 bulldozers through Kanjura Kanji's influence as a presidential advisor at State House to get us the D9 and D8. The D9 was later taken away, but the D8 fell in a ditch during bulldozing, and I know he was trying to fix it with the CEO. The matter was discussed at the council, but how they ended up, I'll have to find out.
Why will the council not discuss the issue regarding Kanjura Kanyi being given money to go and do the procurement?
That is, like I said, the details of that, of him taking money, etc., that was what was discussed here at the commission, not at the council.
Yes, but council would know whether monies were paid to Kanjura Kanyi or not?
I will find out.
You will find out. I'm just asking whether council is in the position to know if withdrawals are made and payments made to an individual.
From my point of view, if it's brought by a committee or a councillor or the CEO or FPAC or any regulator, the council would know. Everybody would know.
Would know.
Yeah.
You have senior management meetings, how often?
Once a month, maybe.
And the CEO reports to you, going by the act?
Yeah, they updated me that they were trying to fix the budget.
Yes, and so you do not ask about the state of affairs of the accounts of council?
I always say refer to the contracts committee when it's procurements.
You don't ask about an update or a report with respect to the withdrawals that were made in a particular week or a month or so?
I trust the committees to do their job. I look at bank balances to ensure that the council can pay salaries and meet its basic obligations.
So, because you trust the committees to do their job, as far as you are mayor, you would not have information regarding withdrawals that are made by officers of council, even if they are made unlawful. That's a problem, Mr. Bensouda.
That's not a problem.
It's
the
a big
council
problem.
has an internal auditor. The council has committees.
An auditor, you said, is incompetent.
That's what I'm saying.
Most
That's
part.
why I was desperate to get an internal auditor.
But that's why
I am not an internal auditor.
But that's why the council should go an extra mile to monitor its accounts.
We do monitor our accounts through our finance committee.
No, but you did not monitor the accounts for most of these payments.
How do you know that?
Because I have asked you the question and you can't provide me.
Me as a person, I am not council, I am not committees, and that is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to set up the governance structures, the checks and balance, the expertise, and to ensure that they're doing their work and reporting to the council.
That's exactly what we are saying.
Yeah.
What we are saying is the General Council in itself failed to detect the withdrawals that were made. In fact, let me ask you the question. Does the General Council request for a statement of account or expenditure statement from the CEO or finance director at any point in time in relation to withdrawals that are made from council's account?
The finance committee.
The finance committee, do they submit this to the General Council?
No, the finance committee generates recommendations. The General Council, sorry if I may ask, I don't know if you been visited the setup of a General Council meeting.
Let me listen to you.
So a General Council meeting, at most, like KMC, I think we stay longest in a meeting.
Right.
It goes from 10 in the morning to 10 p.m.
You would not know whether you stay longest. That you would not know, but just
I think
proceed.
we stay longest. But we discuss all matters.
Right.
All matters.
Right.
In the council, in the community,
Right.
it can be anything.
Right.
And deliberations, just like parliament,
Right.
can take hours,
Right.
even on one simple topic.
Right.
So time management is very vital for the smooth operations of governance.
Okay.
That's why majority of the council's functions are given to committees to deliberate on with the right expertise. And council, most of us are elected. Elected, majority of us have various backgrounds, and some don't have backgrounds in academics or administration. That is why, this is why we mandate the committees to look at the details and come up with recommendations.
Yes.
And that's the spirit of
Mr. Bensouda, the recommendations do not stop at the committee level. So there is no point that the committees, they don't have binding powers, do they? Do they? The committees of council, are their powers binding? The recommendations, are they binding?
If the council hands them powers,
no.
The council can decide to outsource certain powers to committees.
No, Mr. Bensouda, you see, sometimes when it is clear, when the law is very clear as to what the powers of the committee are, which are prescribed by law, we say it. We don't come up with hypotheses to suggest.
Hypothesis.
Now, guide us through the process that the councils, the committee's recommendations can be binding. Guide us through the regulations.
In the Local Government Act, in the setup of councils,
right,
at the last function of a council,
right,
any responsibility,
right,
or direction,
right,
given to you by the general body.
Right.
So in the case of establishment, for
yes,
example, certain functions we say, you don't need to bring it to council. No. You can do those
Guide
things
us through
at
it.
your level. Yeah.
Guide us through where it says that the recommendations of the committees can be binding.
We can, like I said, let's go to the Local Government Act. I
yes.
don't know where it is. So you go to Committees of Council, number 34, page
yes.
27.
Number?
34, page 27.
Yes.
So a council shall establish the committees referred to part 4 and the following other committees. And on 9, you see the delegation of any functions of council to a committee.
Yes.
Shall not, the council may, subject to the provisions of this act, delegate such of its functions to a committee as it deems fit.
Right, delegated authority. We're talking about binding. The recommendations being binding. That's what we're talking about. That's different from delegating a function to the committee. That's different.
If the council says a committee can function without it, the committee can function without it.
Did you say that?
That's what I meant.
No, but did you say that? Did the council at any point in time say that? Let's assume that what you are saying is correct.
Establishment, I think we were debating a general issue.
We were discussing it.
Discussing.
Yes.
A general issue.
Yes.
In the case of the establishment, yes.
The accounts committee and the finance committee, did you delegate them that and transfer your powers that their decisions would be binding at any point?
On which matter?
On any matter. Has it ever happened in council?
Happened, yes, it may have happened.
Not me. We cannot go by that. We need factual evidences that we can lay hands on. If the council has passed a resolution to delegate its powers to the finance and account committee, we want to see it. You can tell us. So if you need time to, we can give you time to go and check it.
So I think our discussion was about, I was explaining to you the structure of general council meetings and the length those meetings can take.
Let me ask again.
And that's why I said sometimes we can give responsibility to committees to execute.
Okay. You know? Look, we don't agree on the fact that council's recommendations can be binding, but even if you hold that position, the committees, even if you hold that position, now I'm now asking you, at any point in time, did council delegate its powers to the finance or accounts committee, which will give it the binding powers? Did that happen?
I think our discussion has gone a left on.
Now forget our discussion. It is a question I have asked you. Do you want to answer the question, or you want to just go on?
I have delivered my evidence as best as I can.
Now let me rephrase it again. Mr. Bensouda, did council at any point in time delegate its responsibilities to the finance or accounts committee such that it makes its recommendations binding? Did that happen in council?
It may have. I don't know. I have to check. There's been 7 years and thousands of minutes.
You need time to check.
Because there's many discussions where the council says, well, we don't have time. We have given you our executive decision to
to make binding
command of
powers.
this matter, yeah.
Okay.
And many times for various committees on various issues.
Are you, no, I'm just concerned about the finance and accounting
that
committee.
I would have to dig.
Okay, we will give you time. Tomorrow you will be here, so we would want you to provide us with that evidence.
Well, I don't think that would be feasible tomorrow.
Yes, let me just come in at this point. Mayor Bensouda, the reference you've made with regards to Section 34.
Yeah.
If you look at subsection 9,
Sorry, Ma.
Committees of Council.
Local Government Act.
Yes, Local Government Act.
Section 9.
Yes, Section 34, sub 9. It says that the delegation of any functions of a council to a committee shall not prevent the council from exercising those functions. Yes. So perhaps if we look at this provision, in as much as you delegate authority to these committees, it still doesn't abrogate your powers as council to deal with the issues.
Absolutely not.
Yes. So that is my understanding of subsection 9.
Absolutely. I think our discussion just went
All
very
right.
broad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Council, you may proceed.
But
our discussion just went
All
very
right.
broad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Council, you may proceed.
But the witness is still to produce the, if it exists, the delegated to the finance and account committee in relation to the subject matter, which is to make its recommendations to be binding.
If it exists.
I doubt it exists, but you said it may exist, so we are waiting.
Let's research.
Yes. Do we have that? Now, the impressed that were not retired in council between 2018 to 2023, did council do anything about this issue to have the matter to be finally resolved? Are
you referring to the National Audit Report?
No, in general, all impressed that are issued, not just the ones that were picked up by the National Audit Report.
Is it something that was picked up by the National Audit Report?
No, I'm not saying that it was picked up. The ones that we have highlighted, I've told you. I'm saying between 2018 to 2023, whether council was availed evidence by the CEO and finance director, as the case may be, in relation to impress that may have been issued within this period, and whether they have been retired, Julie.
That is the operational matter. You'd have to ask the CEO.
That is what?
An operational matter.
What does that mean?
That is to deal with the day-to-day administration. That's the CEO.
Yes, now I am now asking the question in relation to council being the overall body, the overall oversight body in relation to finding out the daily operational matters of the CEO.
That would be the finance committee.
No, that would be council. The law says council. The law did not say that the CEO is answerable to the finance committee. It says the CEO is answerable to, as an accounting officer, to council.
You asked a specific question about finances. I think the finance committee is the best to answer those questions.
That is your opinion. But the law, what it says as to who the CEO is answerable to, is a fact or not?
The first statement is not an opinion, it's a fact.
So it's a fact.
It's a fact that the CEO and the finance committee will have command of your specific question. The council has almost $2 to $3 billion of transactions since I sat there as mayor.
That's not the question.
To answer a specific one about Impress, that's impossible.
That's not the question. The question is whether the CEO is answerable and under the direct control of council.
That is a fact in law.
That's a fact. Good. And so in exercising that supervisory role, is council through any form or any structure or any procedure, is council giving information regarding the impress that were generated between 2018 to 2023 or every given year by the CEO?
I think I've answered in more ways than many. I said the finance committee,
just,
which is a body of the
Mr.
council.
Bensouda, don't avoid the question. My question is not with respect to the finance committee. I have asked a direct question. If your answer is no, and that the body responsible is this, just answer no. You do not have that information.
Lead counsel, you asked a question about impress.
Yes.
I cannot sit here and tell you about impress of billions of transactions. That's why I said the finance committee should have command of your question. I can ask them on your behalf.
Well, you were avoiding the question.
No.
You are, because the question is not ambiguous. The question is not whether the finance, because the work of the finance and accounting committee is supposed to be reported to council. Is that not correct?
I'm not the council.
No.
So if you don't accept that the finance committee
just
look at this information.
Do you sit in council?
As a member?
Yes. Do you sit in council? Are you the mayor of KMC?
Yes.
Good. And so during your sittings that you have witnessed, or at any point in time where you aware that a report was generated and provided to council through any form to council regarding the accountability of implicit issue?
I cannot recall.
Oh, good. Simple.
That's what I said. I said the finance committee.
No, it's okay. Unless we have questions, Madam Chair, we would invite the witness to proceed with the witness tomorrow.
I would shelve this question till tomorrow.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
is the session closed?
Yes. We will rise and we'll continue tomorrow.